Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss Introduction to Natural Product Chemistry. Currently, one third of clinically used drugs in market come from nature. They are either directly isolated from natural products, for example, caffeine, morphine, penicillin, erythromycin, digoxin, Taxol, and many others, or they can be synthesized in lab. For example, chloramphenicol, which is synthesized, which was previously obtained from Streptomyces venezuela, and it is now purely synthesized in lab because of its simple structure, or semi-synthesized by structural modification of their natural compounds. Here we have example of 6-aminopenicillinic acid. It is obtained from Penicillium chrysogenum, and here in this structure you can see here is amino group, and this amino group can be reacted with an acid or ester or an acid chloride, mm, to produce a amide. Here is amide, and we can attach any R group here. The R group can be benzene or modified benzene or any heterocyclic compound or any heterocyclic group. We can place here in R, and we can derive a semi-synthetic penicillin, and this will be called as structural modification of natural compound. The well-known aspirin is derived from salicylic acid, and salicylic acid is derived from salicin. Salicin is an active ingredient in willow bark, and this is structure of salicin. You can see here sugar moiety is attached with a aromatic ring, and this salicin is obtained from willow plant. Another example include azithromycin from erythromycin A. This is the structure of azithromycin, and this is erythromycin A. Here the key difference between these two is, first, azithromycin is a semi-synthesized product. Erythromycin is obtained from Saccharopolyspora erythrea, and the next differences are, you can see in structure. Erythromycin, in position number 9 you can see there is an oxo group, and in azithromycin in position number 9 there is no oxo group. This is the first key difference, and the second difference is in between position number 9 and 10. You can see in between 9 and 10 there is extra and methyl group. This extra attached here. These are changes because in erythromycin A the position number 9 oxo is reacting with position number 6 hydroxy group, and due to this these two functional groups, erythromycin A was very unstable, and azithromycin A is a stable compound. Other examples include semi-synthetic tetracyclines. This is doxycycline. Tetracycline is a broad-spectrum polypeptide antibiotic produced by the Streptomyces genus of actinobacteria. Next we have doxorubicin. Doxorubicin is an anthracycline antibiotic produced by a variant of microorganism Streptomyces paucetium. Next we have artemisinin. Artemisinin is an anti-malarial drug, is isolated from the plant Artemisia annua. Next, what are secondary and primary metabolites? Some of the crucially important molecules of life are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and nucleic acids. And despite the extremely varied characteristics of living organisms, the pathways for generally modifying and synthesizing these four molecules, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and nucleic acids, are found to be essentially the same in all organisms, apart from minor variations. Yes, there are variations in metabolism among plants and animals, because plants synthesize all these components by itself, and animals obtain either from plants or from other animals or insects. And these processes demonstrate the fundamental unity of all living matter, that all living matter need these four molecules. They need carbohydrates for energy to do a day-to-day work. They need proteins for structural framework or for the receptors or many other functions. They need fat to store energy, and they need nucleic acids for replication and are collectively described as primary metabolism, with the compounds involved in the pathways being termed primary metabolites. In contrast to these primary metabolic pathways, which synthesize, degrade, and generally interconvert compounds commonly encountered in all organisms, there also exists an area of metabolism concerned with compounds which have a much more limited distribution in nature. Such compounds are called secondary metabolites and are found in only specific organism or group of organism and are an expression of the individuality of species. For example, taxol is found in Texas plant, and for example, digoxin, it is found in digitalis plant, and there are many other examples. And secondary metabolites are not necessarily produced under all conditions, and in the vast majority of cases, the function of these compounds and their benefit to organism are not yet known. That way and in which manner the plants and animals produce these secondary metabolites, and secondary metabolites can also be synthesized by plants under some stressful condition, that some predator is attacking the plant or animal. Some are undoubtedly produced for easily appreciated reasons. Example, as toxic materials providing defense against predators. Here you can see this is a golden poison frog. The golden poison frog's skin is densely coated in an alkaloid toxin, one of a number of poisons common to dart frogs, batrachotoxins, or as volatile attractants uh, towards the same or other species. Here animals produce sex for pheromones, and in one species of a plant, Tornia hybrida, when infested with spider mites, it emits a trans volatile to attract predatory mites that will kill the spider, or as coloring agent to attract or warn other species. Here this is a bright color of a granular poison frog, a signal or warning to predators of its toxicity, that this granular poison frog is telling to its predator that do not eat me, I am poisonous. And many flowers have colorful petals to attract various insects and birds to help them in pollination. But it is logical to assume that all do play some vital role for the well-being of the producer. It is the area of secondary metabolism which provides most of the pharmacologically active natural products. Fatty acids and sugars provide good examples, in that most are best described as primary metabolites, whilst some representatives are extremely rare and found only in a handful of species. We will discuss these in later sections. Hopefully, the blurring of boundaries will not be confusion. The subdivision into primary metabolism, biochemistry. Primary metabolism can be included in the biochemistry section, and secondary metabolism can be included in natural product chemistry. For convenience, and there is a considerable overlap, that some secondary metabolites can go into primary metabolites, some primary metabolites can go into secondary metabolites. So there is a considerable overlap. So for convenience only, we have called primary metabolism as a part of biochemistry and secondary metabolism as a part of natural product chemistry. Next, building blocks. The building blocks for secondary metabolites are derived from primary metabolism. The below scheme outlines how metabolites from the fundamental processes of photosynthesis, glycolysis, are tapped off from energy generating processes to provide biosynthetic intermediates. Here, these are the metabolites of glycolysis obtained from metabolism of D-glucose. Here, first you can see glucose 6-phosphate. It enters the pentose phosphate cycle, and it gets converted into erythrose 4-phosphate, and this erythrose 4-phosphate can also be obtained from photosynthesis. And this erythrose 4-phosphate along with phosphoenol pyruvate gets converted into shikimic acid, especially by plants. And shikimic acid can be used to make L-phenylalanine, L-tyrosine and L-tryptophan, and these are aromatic amino acids especially produced by plants. Next, pyruvic acid can give rise to deoxyxylulose 5-phosphate, we can call it DXP, and DXP can give rise to, or it can be converted to MEP, methyl erythritol phosphate, MEP. And next you can see acetyl coenzyme A, it can be converted into mevalonic acid, and MEP and mevalonic acid, these both can form isoprenoids. The isoprenoids, they are the building blocks for monoterpenoid, diterpenoid, triterpenoid. And next, acetyl coenzyme A can also be used to form fatty acids, macrolides, aromatics. We will discuss these in acetate pathway. By far the most important building blocks employed in biosynthesis of secondary metabolites are derived from the intermediates acetyl coenzyme A, shikimic acid, mevalonic acid and MEP, methyl erythritol phosphate pathways. So this was all for today. Thank you.